Have you ever thought about how we tend to judge everything that happens in our lives as either good or bad? You know, like when something happens and we quickly jump to conclusions, thinking it's the end of the world, or on the flip side, thinking it's the best thing that's ever happened to us. What if, instead of trying to put labels on everything, we just let things be and accepted them for what they are? Maybe, just maybe, life would feel a little lighter. Let me tell you a story that really helped me think about this differently. It's called The Farmer. There was this farmer, right? He wasn't rich, didn't have much, but he worked hard. He spent his days working on his land, taking care of his animals, doing what he had to do to get by. Life was simple, and he found peace in it. He wasn't asking for anything more. But like always, life has a funny way of throwing us curveballs when we least expect it. One day, while he's out working in the fields, a wild horse just shows up. Out of nowhere. The farmer looks at it and thinks, well, this is a good thing, right? I could use a horse to help me out with all the work around here. He's all excited, thinking this is a lucky break. The villagers hear about the horse, and they're all like, wow, that's amazing. You're so lucky. This horse is going to make your life so much easier. The farmer, though, just gives a little smile and says, maybe. Doesn't get too excited, doesn't get too worried, just goes with the flow. But here's where things get a little tricky. The farmer's son starts training the horse, trying to tame it. And well, things don't go as planned. The horse bucks him off, and he falls, breaking his leg. The farmer rushes over, worried about his son, but the son's okay, just a broken leg. Now the villagers come around again, saying, oh no, how terrible. Your son can't help out on the farm now. You've lost your helper. What bad luck. The farmer doesn't say much, just replies, maybe. He doesn't panic, doesn't complain, just takes it in stride. A little while later, war breaks out. The emperor's army comes through, rounding up all the young men to send them off to fight. The villagers are in a panic, worried about their sons being drafted into battle. But when the soldiers get to the farmer's house, they see his son's leg is broken, and they decide to leave him behind. The farmer's son is spared from war. And now the villagers are like, wait a minute, you're so lucky. Your son didn't have to go to war. While everyone else is losing their sons, yours is safe at home. The farmer, still calm, just nods and says, maybe. And that's where the magic of this story comes in. Because if you really think about it, nothing is truly good or bad. It's all about perspective. The horse showing up seemed like a blessing, but it led to the accident with the son. The broken leg seemed like a disaster, but it kept the son out of harm's way when the war came. What at first appeared to be a misfortune ended up being a blessing. And isn't that how life is sometimes? We get so caught up in thinking we know how things are supposed to go. We label things as good or bad, but we don't always see the bigger picture. The farmer didn't let life's twists and turns throw him off course. He didn't get lost in the moment. He understood something that's so easy to forget. Life is unpredictable. We can't control what happens to us. We can't always choose what comes our way. But what we can control is how we respond. And the farmer's response was simple. Acceptance. Whatever came his way, he didn't label it as good or bad. He just took it as it came and trusted that things would work out, even if he didn't understand it right away. I think that's something we can all learn from. Because let's be honest, life is messy. We can't predict what's going to happen next. Some days are great, some days are hard. But if we could stop judging every little thing, stop trying to figure out whether it's good or bad, and just accept whatever comes our way, maybe we feel a little less stressed, a little more at peace. Because at the end of the day, life has a way of working itself out. It might not always be in the way we expect, but it usually does. Next time something unexpected happens, whether it seems good or bad, try to remember the farmer. Maybe you'll find that what seems like a setback is actually setting you up for something better. Life is full of surprises, and sometimes all we need to do is roll with it and trust that things are happening just as they should. Life
isn't about labeling things as success or failure. It's about understanding that everything has its place and that everything contributes to the larger story of our lives. When life throws us a curveball, we can smile and say, maybe.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe or join our newsletter.